Hey, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. This video I'm going to talk about the golf takeaway on plane. Now the takeaway is so important in the golf swing. It's talked about a lot and for good reason, because it triggers your whole golf swing. Get it wrong and your golf swing becomes a series of compensations trying to save the swing. So if I get over a ball here, if you're struggling with your game, whether it's the backswing or contact or follow through, a lot of those issues can be traced back to what you do this first little couple of feet in your backswing, which is your takeaway. Everything gets traced back. So if you're frustrated with the results you're getting, always start with your takeaway. I see a lot of swings golfers like you send me. Invariably I look at the takeaway and it looks something like, right from the start, the club will get pulled inside. That's the most common. Occasionally I see one where it's too far out this way. Usually right from the start of the swing, this takeaway is in like here, way too far inside, or the face is open pointing up high. The swing is doomed right from the start. So give the takeaway the effort and the time it deserves, because if you can get it right, it can really change your swing. Now, what I'm going to show you is how you can get your takeaway on a much better plane, improve your whole golf swing. Now, I can hear you saying, what about Matt Wolf or Jim Furyk, who have unusual takeaways but still play obviously amazing golf? Well, the thing is, for those guys, obviously they've got incredible talent, but they've practiced for years and years, and they probably practice 4 to 5 hours a day honing their individual swing. Now for Matt Wolf, he does the opposite. He goes way out this way and then loops it back around. He practices and practices that until it's ingrained in his game. Now, if you're anything like me, I don't have 4 to 5 hours a day to practice a takeaway like that. I'm going to show you a much easier way of doing it to help you play better golf. That's something is more, I think, for the recreational golfer. Even if you're a club golfer, this takeaway is much easier to get good at than the one that a few of those pros do. Most pros will do it the way that I'm going to show you today. So if I get over one here, now I'm talking about the takeaway plane. So if I'm set up over a ball, if I was to draw a line right up that shaft through my body, in your takeaway, ideally, now it doesn't have to be perfect, ideally what I'd like to see happen is when this club moves away, that club travels along that plane line. Now again, as I said, doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it stays somewhere on that line or very close to it, you're in a great position, finish your backswing and make a great downswing. So from face on, we want it looking somewhere like that in the takeaway, and that just gets things started so good. So here's some things that we want to avoid doing. I've spoke about this already. I don't want you pulling it inside too much with the hands. I don't want that face open, pointing with the toe pointing up towards the sky. I want that club to be heading right from the start here, particularly about that first foot. I want that club to be going back straight on that line. And then gradually it'll come inside because we're swinging on an arc. And right about this point there, the face should be pointing more down towards the ground, not up like this, but more down towards that direction there. We don't want this right arm bending too much. If you bend this right arm too much, it tends to suck the club inside. So if you can keep that right arm relatively straight, I need you to hinge those wrists slightly. If you don't hinge the wrists at all, club gets pulled way inside. So you need to get a bit of this hinging up like this with your wrists. Just hold the club nice and gently. You should be able to hinge those wrists slightly during the takeaway. That helps keep it on that plane line. So let's get back over our ball. We want that club moving away straight. It's a slight hinge. That right arm is relatively straight, bit of bend in it, but right towards the end of our takeaway, I want that club head either outside your hands or in line with your hands. Hopefully I've got that lined up okay. And that's a great position to finish the rest of that backswing. Now I'm going to show you a really cool drill you can practice at home that's going to make getting this proper golf takeaway on plane that much easier for you. Okay, before I show you this drill, make sure you smash that like button if you think this video will really help you out, and drop a comment down below if you've struggled with your takeaway, you've tried everything and nothing works. I'm curious to know what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't worked. Hopefully this video will solve all those problems for you. And consider subscribing too, that really helps me out. So you'll see here, I've set up 3 balls here for this drill. Now, you can do this drill a number of different ways. This ball here, you can replace this with a wood cover, anything, just some sort of object. So the idea is, if I'm making a good takeaway that's right on plane, I'm going to set up to this first ball. I want to be able to push this second ball here roughly in the direction of the ball there. If I do it incorrectly, like this, very wristy, I'm going to pull that ball inside and I'm going to miss that ball down there. On the other side of the coin, if I push my hands too far away from me, like this, I'm going to miss the ball completely on the other side. That's a lot rarer. Most of the time I see most golfers very wristy and they'll generally pull the club inside really quickly. So let's try and do one here. Just going to try to make a nice easy takeaway. I'm going to try to take that club back nice and straight for that first foot and see if we can hit that ball there. Nice, so we just hit that ball nicely. We can finish our takeaway to there. And we've started our golf swing the right way. Practice that drill. Like I say, you can do different variations of that. I've seen golfers actually doing the drill and then completing the swing and actually hitting the shot. You can absolutely do that. That works great as well. So important, once you got your takeaway mastered, you need to finish the rest of the backswing. Now this next video is going to show you how you can make a short backswing and still generate heaps of power. So that video is coming up. I'll see you on it.